This week on the government and you.
The Asuu issue, even though I want you to talk about politics and why the youths should actually be involved, but I started there because issues of governance and policy will definitely affect everything that we do in a society. And that is why we are at home, in quotes, we are at home, because lecturers have downed tools. So that is as a result of government policy. How are you reacting to this? How are you feeling about staying at home when by now you should probably be in a higher level, but you have to be at home, no school, no education, although you are learning other things, but no education in quotes in your tertiary institution. How do you feel about it?
Hello and a very warm welcome to you. This is the government and you. And as we say on the show, government is a collective project. Our collective responsibility is to make sure our nation is the best that it can actually be. And in Nigeria today, there are a lot of issues that are affecting the citizenry. Of course, the children are not left out, the students are not left out. Everyone is affected in one way or the other. And that is why we keep talking, we keep speaking. And we're going to focus on the issue of Asuu Strike and other pressing issues in Nigeria, like youth participation in governance. Why should you participate? Why should you not remain silent? But we'll go on a quick break. I'll be right back. You're welcome back. If you just joined us, this is the government and you. And of course, Nigerians are not happy that their children have to stay home for so long away from school. The Asuu strike has lingered for so long, and this is not the first time, this is not the last time. We're actually hoping to make sure it ends forever. But I also witnessed the Asuu strike for a period of over 6 months, and I lost a session while I was an undergraduate of the University of Benin in Nigeria. And some citizens of this great country are still being affected at this time. And I have two distinguished personalities with me in studio, and they are undergraduates of the Nnamdi Azikiwe University. And I have Chimaobi Egensi and Vanessa. Vanessa, you're welcome to the government and you. And Chimaobi, you are welcome too. I know I mentioned her first, so you're also welcome. And I started with the Asuu issue, even though I want you to talk about politics and why the youths should actually be involved. But I started there because issues of governance and policy will definitely affect everything that we do in a society. And that is why we are at home, in quotes, we are at home, because lecturers have downed tools. So that is as a result of government policy. How are you reacting to this? How are you feeling about staying at home when by now you should probably be in a higher level, but you have to be at home, no school, no education, although you are learning other things, but no education in quotes in your tertiary institution. How do you feel about it?
This affects me personally because actually, it affects me mentally. Honestly, it affects me emotionally. Yes. It affects me physically. Mentally, in the aspect that there's most people, in most youths, that actually have a direction. Someone like me, I have already planned out my life.
Yes.
I already planned out when I'm supposed to graduate, what I'm supposed to do after I graduate, when I'll start NYSC, what I will do after NYSC. So these Asuu strikes that I've witnessed two since I entered, and I'm just in 300 level.
Wow.
So the last one, we had to resume, I think, October. And we finished a whole semester within October, November, December. We finished.
You were rushed.
We were rushed
through the program.
Through the program, yes. And it actually affected most of my classmates. It was very difficult for us. The lecturers would just come in, rush the topics. They were like, some were sympathetic to us, but others were like, it's something that happens. It's now a normal thing. This new Asuu strike, this one that the one that we just experienced, the lecturers before they went on the strike, most of them were not even coming to class. Most of them were even telling us that they are not even interested in not going for this strike. They were telling us personally their experience, like what the government is doing to them and why they completely support this strike. But this strike for me is not just even affecting only me, because I actually thought about it, and the people that open their businesses in school area, those people are also very affected. The barbing salon at my street, the upper woman at the school gates. Like, I actually thought about it, and I'm like, these people open their businesses because they know students go to school.
And they will
buy these things. And now for 3 months, no gain, nothing.
Sometimes it's even 6 months, 8 months.
It is so sad. It is actually very sad.
Now, Chimobi, you're smiling like if I even start talking, I won't end. What's your reaction?
Personally, for me, I'm in 300 level also, and I've experienced 2 strikes.
Whoa.
Since I got admission.
Strike 1, strike 2.
Strike 1, strike 2. And what it causes for students is that, as she has earlier pointed out, the program is now rushed through. Exams are hectic. It tells on our grades because we are trying to, cram so many courses. It's no longer a case of who knows, but who can cram.
Who can cram the most?
As much as possible.
Because you are law students. I forgot to introduce them as law undergraduates, and of course you have to do a lot of section, constitution, and the rest of them.
And the rest of that.
Wow.
And it tells on a lot of students. You see them during this exam period, they fall sick. They can't even write the exam. Some carry it over.
Because of the stress.
It has so much negative aspects on the students.
Wow. I just feel for these students because you can hear how emotional they are about this issue. How can you keep children in the house for 3 months? And I won't say I'm blaming the lecturers, because that's why we talked about the policies. We started by talking about the fact that the policies of the government of the day matters a lot. And of course, we have that responsibility to choose our leaders. Sure. So if, come 2023, you decide to vote in a leader without thinking through the policies that this person is saying, I'm going to bring, I'm going to implement, I'm going to do this and that, it's going to affect everyone. So that's why we started with the ASU issue. Lecturers have downed their tools and say we are not going back till the agreement we had with the federal government is met and carried out to the latter. And now students, your parents have paid for the session and probably paid for accommodation.
True.
And the accommodation, especially if you're off or out of the campus, is counting. You have to pay again to renew your rent. Yes. So are there other issues that I might not be getting, because I know you are the ones in it right now?
Well, the last time, okay, when we lost a full year. Okay, COVID was part of it.
Okay.
So after COVID, we thought we would resume, but we still had to stay till the next year, February.
Because of the NSAS.
protest.
And then there was also
strike again.
Now, I renewed my rent February last year. And then I came back to school the next year, February, and renewed again. Without staying even a day.
And wow, I don't even want to predict it happening, because we know that there's definitely going to be an end to this thing. And that's why we're saying we have to choose our leaders rightly. We have to make that conscious decision not to be swayed by money politics, not to be swayed by money-backed politicians, because I know that a lot of them have visited schools, carry their campaigns to the schools and say, oh, students, vote for us, we'll do this, we'll do that. And the halls were packed full with students. How come? Were you there? Have you attended one of these campaign events where they come to the school to try to win students over?
I've not actually. I've not. But on the social media and stuff like that, when an aspirant comes on, probably on a social media platform that was banned by themselves, talking about Twitter. When they banned it, and then they're still coming on that same platform to campaign. It's appalling. Is appalling really, because these politicians year in year out, they come, especially during elections. That's when you see them. You see a normal politician selling fuel in the filling station.
Being very humble.
You understand? Feeding a sick child and eating corn, and
just for the show. You
understand? And they I don't know if they think that they're actually swaying it, but Nigerians are past that. We've seen these things occur and reoccur. And we are no longer going to be swayed by all these petty advances.
I like you saying Nigerians are no longer going to be swayed, and you particularly say you're not going to be swayed. But Vanessa, will you be swayed by this show so close to the elections? You see them coming and saying, oh, we'll fix this now, we'll fix this now. Are you going to be swayed by that? Or what would actually make you, help you make up your mind for a particular candidate come 2023?
For me, all these things are just like empty promises. These politicians, they are used to speaking words. They are used to just saying words. I will do this, I will do that. When I get here, I will do this. For me, if you want to like gain my vote, if you want me to be like, this is the person I want, you have to act. You have to do things that would show that, yes, you actually intend change for this country. As a 20-year-old, sometimes when I talk with my friends, it's actually very painful when we think about the things that just youths go through in this country. I remember the time where youths actually finally banded together and showed their strength. And the whole thing was just thwarted, like it didn't mean anything. Like they were just shut down, like it didn't mean anything, and it actually hurts.
So, you know, for your choice of a president come 2023, what would help you make up to make up your mind and make a decision to vote for a particular candidate? Forgetting about the things that we say they will do, but looking at other things.
Okay.
What exactly would you look at? Give us those criteria that you want to see in a candidate that will help you make up your mind come 2023.
Okay. I'm very much against recycling leaders. So I wouldn't really, it would be difficult for someone who has ruled Nigeria before to actually win my vote. Somebody that would, like, I would prefer somebody that when I look into his background, even the time where he was in a particular leadership position, he made such great impacts. He, with the power that he had, he was able to make an impact in in the lives of the people that he was
governing
over
at the time.
Yes, at the time. There's that, and there's also listening to the youths.
Listening to the youth
I know
matters a
that
lot.
youths we are young and they see us as troublesome and we do this and we do that and they are always.
But we are told when we are growing up that we're the leaders of tomorrow. But tomorrow is now.
Tomorrow is now.
It's time to speak. Well, you said biggest lie. Why is it a lie?
It's not practical. I mean,
can we change that? Can you change that?
It starts from one person.
You are the person. I've chosen you now.
Well, the thing is, the government of the day doesn't really want to see the youths in the power, because I really don't know the reason why, but they are really fighting it.
They are opposing you, eh?
Talking about financial hindrance in the electoral system.
Okay.
In our political parties, the youths are not really given that opportunity.
But you know, even with the sale of 100 million nomination forms, which we witnessed a while back, some of these parties, including the APC, they actually gave a discount, they gave concession for the youths and women as well. Women were given free forms, but some of them, nobody even picked up these free forms. So would we, in that context, would we still blame the parties? Would we still blame the society, or should we blame ourselves that we are not ready?
There's still that lackadaisical attitude among the youths, that withdrawn attitude, because as a youth that I am, I can't single out one thing that the government has done for me since I was born.
They opened your university.
And they closed it as they wish.
They closed it, eh? All right. It's quite interesting having a very, very, very fantastic chat with these students representing Nigeria. These are future leaders, and I like what they are saying and how they are saying it. But we'll go on a quick break and we'll be right back. You're welcome back. I'm still smiling because I still have this fantastic youth in the house with me. I have people representing our
tertiary institutions, people representing Nigeria, it's been difficult getting young people to speak, but these ones came and said, no, we are not going to keep quiet, we're going to speak out, we're going to speak our truth. And Vanessa said she was affected emotionally by the strike. And now I want to ask you now, because we talked about the fact that everything still boils down to the people that we choose as our leaders. Have you voted before?
No, I have not.
Well, you said you're 20, so
yes,
I know it's...
Yes.
So have you registered for your PVC?
Okay, so as a student in the East, I want to register in the East because
now you started with so. I was wondering. Okay, you've not registered.
Wait, let me get there. I have to land.
To the land.
I have not registered, yes, because I want to register in the East where I would be in school by the time the election.
Are you
starts.
Sure by the time the election starts, Asuu will not be on strike?
Okay, well, we have to think positive.
Thank you. So Chimobi, have you voted before?
No, I've not.
Yeah, also 20.
Yeah.
Good. So have you registered for your PVC?
I've done the online one.
Online one.
My
Good.
basic information.
Basic information.
Yeah.
Very good. On voter.inecnigeria.org. That is where you get your basic information uploaded to the INEC website, so that wherever you are, you can easily go to a close local government office or INEC office and capture your other details as well as your biometrics and of course your picture, although we snap online too, but we also have to do that physically.
Yes.
But Vanessa, did you do the online registration?
I have not finished what I was saying.
So I won't let you finish because the basic one, I want to hear that I have done the online.
No, I have not.
You've not. Okay,
Yes.
please, you have to do it. You have to do it because that's where the change starts from.
Yes.
So now looking at that, we want you to encourage young persons because you're talking about how your education, your plans and everything has been affected by this
Asuu
strike based on the choices, the policies of this administration, and we're saying no, we want to change.
Yes.
So what do you want to tell the young people out there to do to ensure that they don't get swayed?
Okay. Well, the young people, they have this belief that the government, no matter what, they'll still do whatever they want. But I would like them to just change that attitude. Like, just have hope in your country. That's at the end of it all. Sorry?
Be patriotic.
Yes, at the end of it all, when these people finally go, the leaders now, it would fall on our shoulders. So we should be ready. No matter what you think that Nigeria will never change and all, please just change that mindset. That's just very important, that mindset. Because once you change your mindset, then you'll be willing to go and vote. You'll be willing to, you would have that drive to want to contest for elections. You have that drive to preach against this political apathy that is so rampant in Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Yes.
Okay, so Chimobi, what do you think actually contributes to this apathy? I know Vanessa mentioned the fact that the youth may say, oh, votes don't matter, they will still do what they want to do, but what do you think?
Well, that's one. The second thing is security in this country, especially during the election process. We heard about what happened in Hitu Boma in Imo State, where where they were going to get their PVC and then they were attacked. So it further discourages the Nigerian youth. I mean, why would I want to go and put my life at risk for something I don't really believe in when I can just stay at home? Both during election processes, there's electoral violence, there's stealing of ballot papers. The whole thing is not just friendly.
You know, when you talked about when I can just stay at home, I remember covering elections and we see youths on the streets playing football on voting day. It's like, it's an opportunity for them to enjoy public holiday. You see, how can we change that? We really need to change that.
Yes, and as she earlier pointed out, it's about the mindset. The average youth should understand that these older generations are not just going to put the leadership in our hands and say take. They've shown us countless times that they are not giving it to us on a platter of gold. So we actually have to work for it.
How?
We have to get our PVC. We have to vote. We have to contest for election. If possible, we have to create political parties that just represents our interests. You understand? The funding, we'll get funding.
We'll get funding. I like the way you said it because, you know, when people are determined to achieve something, as far as there's that collective will,
there's a collective purpose, that target, that objective is usually attained.
Yes.
When you mentioned the issue that the NSAS, which you use as an example, people coming together, that's one example. Even in the Bible times, when they wanted to build Tower of Babel, people just needed to come together. So, Vanessa, how do we rally the troops? How do we get our youth to come together and form a very, very formidable force to actually change the system we are seeing now?
It starts with shows like this. Somebody can just be watching this and know that, okay, somebody that has the same mindset that I do or you do, and watches it and be like, okay, I'm sharing the same mindset with this person, and go to tell his friends that he shares the same mindset with that person, that look what is happening. People actually believe in this. People actually believe that Nigeria can change. People actually believe that we can change Nigeria. And once that starts, like, it's just a ripple effect. And
you know, when Chimobi mentioned the hashtag, Twitter was banned before because the government felt social media was being misused and mismanaged, and of course there are pros and cons, there are arguments for and against, but of course it's been lifted, and a lot of people have said, oh, it's because of the elections coming up. But can we not use that, the hashtag you talk about? Can't we use hashtag change Nigeria, hashtag vote for change?
That's still another way. Internet can be used in so many ways, so many positive ways in Nigeria. Just the way NSAS started, it is shocking to many people. Once they started that hashtag NSAS, so many celebrities, so many politicians and international politicians, international influencers were reposting. And that's how they just got the message across. There's hardly anybody you would ask that would be like, okay, I've never heard about NSAS. You understand?
So Chimobi, how can you use your social media knowledge to actually cause a change in this country?
Thank you very much for that question. The youth should understand that the change is from them, and they should direct what they do on the internet, especially for this period of time, which is the election period, just as how the politicians are getting ready, getting their weapons ready for the election. we should also be getting our weapons ready for this election. We should, cut down on maybe frivolous things we are doing on the internet.
Thank you for that.
Yes, and channel this energy towards making a change. You understand? I've not really seen any candidates that has come up, you understand, from like a youth that has come up to run for this presidency. I don't think. But if we can find somebody that we relate with, that has our best interest at heart, we can actually push this person. Let's just try it for this ones and see if it works out.
Let's try it. I like you saying let's try it. Let's try it first. Let's try and register and get our PVCs. Let's try and vote first and see if our voices really matter, if our votes really count. And I think that should count for something, Vanessa.
Yes. It's not enough to just assume that this will never work when you've actually not even tried it. So once you've tried it and you'll be like, okay, I tried and it didn't work.
I should just write in capital letters, word. Vanessa just said the word. Wisdom. What makes it wisdom? Thank you. So I have to start. So we should do hashtag wisdom now.
Yeah, that would be better.
So you see, continue, please. I'm sorry to cut you. Just continue.
So I was saying that once these youths come together, they register for their PVC. They vote. One person comes out that I'm ready to represent your interests at heart. The person means what they say, and we know that this person is definitely going to go up there and do Nigeria justice. Once this person is voted in and is like, once we go through all the process and everything and it happens, we would all be proud of ourselves. It would be such a wonderful feeling. Yeah. But if you're just thinking about it and you're just like, well, it would be nice, but Nigeria is just corrupt. Nigeria is never going to attain this.
And you stay in your house and watch your TV.
And Nigeria will just remain the way it is. And once the new people, it will just keep deteriorating. And once these people go and these youths now step in, everything will just keep happening over and over and over and over since 1960. The same thing has been happening over and over again.
I feel like voting for you. Can you just run for an office? Run. We have the Not Too Young to Run campaign that also started like a hashtag too, and of course we saw change. We saw
Yeah.
change. We know that the elective offices, the ages were reduced.
Reduced,
So
yeah.
you don't even have to start from presidency.
Yeah.
You can start from
Just start
being
small.
yeah, a representative,
representative.
a local government chairman, a councillor, anything. You can start from somewhere. So don't sit and say, oh, it's not yet my turn. I'm not old enough. You're not too young to run. You're not too young to run. And that hashtag is there. We need to revisit that hashtag and make it count for something. I know a lot of people said, the youths were already disenfranchised by the big nomination forms, the monies we're hearing. What do you feel about that? Parting shots.
Well, I feel like that was a ploy to, you know, further remove political offices from the grasp of the youth, because it's not practical in this Nigeria that a youth will have, okay, let's forget about the 100 million, 40 million to buy form for something that is not really sure.
Without EFCC
Understand.
badging through their
Yes, it's not practical for
But
the
you know,
youth.
you mentioned, Vanessa, that we can come together and pool resources together. We can do a GoFundMe. We can have a collective purse. It now boils down to the issue of integrity. Can we trust the youth? Can we trust ourselves?
I feel we can trust the youths. I keep going back to what happened during NSAS, because it was such a...
Some people took money.
No, obviously it will happen. We are still human beings, and
Okay.
human beings can't all...
Change.
Yes, can't all change, but you can't say that most people took money, because a lot of people were donating, and the donation actually, because you can't start something and have that large amount of number of people, and the donations were not affecting them. Like, they weren't getting the donations, they weren't getting the food that was being donated, and they keep coming back. Do you understand? So obviously they were receiving it. So as I was saying, that number of people that was there, they represent the youth. So the people can actually come together, and those people that were donating, like, it shows that we have so
You
many
could even
people.
start with 1,000 naira. You could start with 500 naira.
Start with
We have the
500 naira.
number.
We have the number.
We have the number.
Look at the demographics. We are the ones that actually matter.
Yeah.
Now we say we don't want to recycle leaders. We are tired of
Yes.
seeing the same people again
Over
and all
and
that.
again.
But we are the ones that have the tool. Hashtag
Not too
change
young
now.
to run.
Hashtag not too young to run. Hashtag 2023. And we start and we say, oh, Vanessa is going for House of Representatives. She needs to pick up this form. For instance, we know, of course, forms have been purchased, parties have done their primaries, and they've chosen who they want. But with governance and politics continuous. So we keep talking so that we can change it. So in the future, you can say, I want to run. And we know you are intelligent, you have all it takes. Chimobi, you are intelligent, you have all it takes. Okay, why don't you come to your church, for instance, or how many people know you in your street? You start with a small project, and people get to know that, oh, this lady is helping people to learn English, for
Yes.
instance. You can do that. You don't need money to teach someone what you know. You understand? We have the Future Africa Leaders Awards in this ministry, and we see young people from all over the world doing remarkable things, feeding millions of people, starting from somewhere, probably asking for funds from other people just to achieve a goal. So I think, like you said, our minds should start changing. And can you just give the youth this insight into how to change their mind? Vanessa, you first, then Chimobi.
Okay, let us do away with that belief that we can't make an impact in Nigeria. Just one thing that you do can actually affect a person. Like they say, there's ripple effect exists. Once you do one thing, somebody will copy you and do it again, and another person will copy you and do it again, and that's just how these governments that we call corrupt, it starts from one person. When one person changes and one person tries to do good and tries to avoid, okay, like when the government comes, when all these people that are trying to campaign for election, they come and say, take 5,000 naira and vote for me. Why don't you just say no? And believe, just try and change that mindset that your vote or you don't count in this country. You actually do count. You are the future of tomorrow, actually. No matter what these people are trying to put you down, it's actually the truth. Because they will go one day and it will be you left.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
You know, Chimobi, I know that you wrote a lot of things and I may not have allowed you to speak freely. So can you just go ahead and share your thoughts before we go?
Okay. So my advice to youths today is they should take a cue from what happened in NSAS. I'll keep referring to NSAS because NSAS was the first time that the youths collectively participated in the political space in Nigeria. They should take a cue from that and understand that their voices was actually heard during that NSAS protest. The government was shaking to an extent. Although it did not end well, but
But you started something.
But it started something. It's brought out this awakening in youths. So I don't want it to go down. They should tap into that and, you know, collectively seek change for this country, because without that change, without practical change, Nigeria is actually doomed.
Without practical change, Nigeria is actually doomed. And Nigeria is not a person. Nigeria is you and I. So we are the deciding factor. Like we always tell you on The Government and You, it is about you, it is about the government. We all together form the government, because democracy is actually supposed to be a government for the people, by the people, of the people. It's been an interesting episode with two young people in the studio with me, and they've been blowing my mind with some fantastic truths that they've been speaking. The change is up to you, it's up to me. And they have some parting shots. I just need to let you guys say something.
Parting shots, okay. I just want to say to the actual leaders out there, please just try and give us a chance. That's just all I have to say.
Chimobi?
I want to tell the youths that we can actually make a change. We are not too young to run.
Good. We are not too young to run. So we'll start the hashtag and make it trend. We are not too young to run. And remember, even as you try to cause change, remember that the only true change that we need starts from Jesus Christ. We have our cards that will display our information. If you want to give your life to Jesus Christ, please, please, please reach out to one of our counselors and they will help you know more about Jesus and they will lead you to Christ. Jesus Christ is the only true salvation for everyone. And of course, Nigeria can only be built by Nigerians. God bless you.